I've been sitting with a question, and honestly, I think this question has been underneath all my wrestling for a while now. I just couldn't put words to it. And when it finally clicked, it almost put me in a place of fear and awe before God. Not fear like terror, fear like realizing how dependent I really am. Because if we're being real, there's something in human nature that wants to deny weakness. We wear masks of strength. We convince ourselves we're more self-sufficient than we really are. And if we're not careful, we'll carry that same mindset into our relationship with God. I've been reading through Samuel, looking at Saul, David, Solomon, all these men that God used in powerful ways. And it got me looking back at my own life, because one thing became painfully clear. None of us are immune. Not me, not you, not kings, not prophets, not the wisest man who ever lived. None of us. The line that hit me was when the Bible says God gave Saul a new heart. Think about that for a second. God gave him a new heart, not just emotions. He gave him a new will, new desires, a new direction. God changed him. God favored him. God empowered him. God confirmed him. God performed signs for him. And yet somehow, somewhere along the way, the man who started with a new heart became the man throwing spears at David. Like how? And that's the question. And honestly, that's the part nobody talks about enough. Everybody talks about the blessing. Everybody talks about the breakthrough. Everybody talks about the open door. Everybody talks about the promise. But what happens after that? What happens if the prayer gets answered? What happens when the seasons shift? What happens when the business grows? What happens when the healing comes? What happens when life starts looking like everything you prayed for? Because if we're being really honest, it's easy to seek God when you're desperate. It's easy to pray when you're broken. It's easy to depend on him when you're in the wilderness. But what happens when you're not? Look at Saul. The same insecurity that kept him humble for God at first eventually became the thing that consumed him when he started comparing himself to David. Look at Solomon. People love talking about the wisdom. People love talking about the riches, but they stop reading before the end. The richest man who ever lived, a man who encountered God in extraordinary ways and yet still drifted. That's sobering, because it means the question isn't, will God bless me? The question is,